Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Need More Info, a podcast exploring the worlds of movies, video games, and TV shows. I'm your host, Nate, and today I'm joined again by co-host Fergus. How you doing, man?
Hello, everyone. It's me again. I am back to talk everything film, TV, games, and whatever else with you guys.
It's a Fergus. He returns. That was my terrible Mario impression, not an Italian impression before anyone else says anything. Yeah, but no, it's how's your week been, man?
What have I done this week? I have got really into Forza Horizon 5. It's a fun game. I got really into Forza Horizon 4. I'm not sure if 5's as good as 4. I got carried away and bought the Car Pass pack, which I think has somewhat skewed the progression curve of the game, because, like, I've sort of completed it 20 hours in, but there's, like, last time it took me nearly 100 hours. So I don't know what's going on. The cars are a bit easy, but then some are not so easy. And then I think that where the progression curve stops, there's just a massive gap, because I guess you've missed out on learning how to drive well.
Yeah, no, I tried to do that myself.
But yeah, recommend it. Probably don't buy the Welcome Pass Premium pack. I don't know. I'm in two minds about that one.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. So for myself, I pretty much, just relaxing. We had a party that we went to in the past week, so that was that was fun. Tiring but very fun. I got my face painted. It was fun. Much queuing, much face painting. It was a great time, and definitely got my steps in this past week. I could tell that for sure. Yeah, so this week, I've just been I've been playing Starship Troopers Terran Command. Still, I've been loving that game. Bloody difficult. And also with the PlayStation Plus new version out, so I've got the PlayStation Extra now. They had like £5 on my wallet left, and they were like, "Well, if you upgrade 20 quid, you could get the extra for the rest of the year for like 400 or 500 PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5 games. Or if you do £30, you can have game trials and streaming games." And I'm like, okay, that means I only have to pay 25 then. I like the sounds of that. Yeah, I downloaded like a ton of games, including Demon Souls, which I was not gonna buy. Like Elden Ring was my purchase for my risk purchase, but Demon Souls luckily is on that list. And also a game that we'll probably talk about a tiny bit later, Stray, the cat game that's coming out in July, will be actually added to the PlayStation Plus collection for free. You won't have to pay for it. It'll just be there for PlayStation Plus members, which I think is really awesome to have, to be honest. But yeah, obviously, it's great to have everyone back. It's great to be back here talking to you all lovely people. It's been an interesting time here at NMI. We've got some technical things behind the scenes that we're working on, still figuring out that animation. Animation's hard, people. Who would have thought? Just trying to figure that stuff out.
It is. I've never managed myself.
Yeah, no, I've done 3D animation, but 2D animation is like weird to me. It's always been weird. Also, we're possibly might be doing some in-person recording eventually, so that's just figuring out the tech budget for that at the moment. Figuring out the technical details for that, and possibly we'll do it every couple of weeks to a month. So we may have some in live recordings. So basically, we're doing it over the Discord now, people, and recording that way. So that's how we get about it. COVID pretty much cemented that for a lot of people, to be honest. And it's actually a really good way of doing it. Craigbot on Discord, I highly recommend it, people, if you want to start podcasts yourself. So, obviously, last week, people, we got into our...
last week was fan casting up-and-coming films. We were talking about who we're going to cast for the likes of God of War.
Yes, I actually spoke to my housemate about the James Bond casting, and he was very much behind the John Boyega casting for James Bond. And Dev Patel, definitely different. Also, we are now pushing ourselves on the marketing campaign. Hopefully that should be going up soon. It's still in review with Instagram, but hopefully we'll have some lovely NMI posts going out soon to push to the people out there. Obviously, people, you come here for the lovely topical debates, which we'll be getting into again today. Not heavy topics, but more like, we'll get to that in a second. We'll be doing our news roundup again. It seems we have a bunch of news people. Still waiting on that God of War Ragnarok state of play that's rumored to be happening because I really want to bloody know what's going on there. I have my Twitter on, people in the background refreshing to make sure that that doesn't appear during the podcast recording because we record this on Tuesdays, people. So, we like to make sure we get this bit of editing time before we send it to people, lovely people out there. So obviously, after the news segment, we'll be doing our topic, and the topic this week will be the top 3 games we're anticipating for the rest of 2022. I'll figure out a shorter title later because got to put on the poster, people, the advertising poster, and I'm sure we may have some honorable mentions as well in there as well, which we might talk about very, very briefly. But it'll be really good to find out what we're really looking forward to. But we will get to that in the second half of the news after the news segment. What we might do is, people, in the future as well, we might be actually splitting the podcast into 2. So obviously, you lovely people might enjoy coming and hearing the news segment each week. But maybe some people just want to hear the lovely topical debates that we get into. So we're currently contemplating how to release a possible 2 episodes a week with a new weekly news roundup and also a just topic-specific episode. We'll probably record them the same day, or at least within a couple of days, and then release them to you lovely people out there. Maybe on a Tuesday and a Friday. If you email us in with your thoughts, we're thinking maybe Tuesday for the topic and Friday for the weekly roundup because the week has ended almost. So we'll see how that goes. But speaking of news, Fergus.
Hello.
Shall we start the news?
Yes, let's see what has been going on this week.
Well, these 2 films are officially old now, Fergus. They're in their midlife crisis phase. I'm talking about Blade Runner and The Thing. Ridley Scott's Blade Runner and John Carpenter's The Thing, both released on June 25th, 1982. It was their 25th anniversary. Sorry, their 40th anniversary. Within the last week. Jesus, and these films still hold up today, in my opinion. They are stunning movies. I watched a retro review recently for The Thing, and just the actual animatronics and the actual physical props for that movie are still grotesque, but in an amazing way to this day. And it just goes to show, because obviously they did The Thing, the prequel a few years ago, but it was much heavy CGI. And CGI does not hold up compared to prosthetics if it's done, and practical effects if it's done correctly.
Yeah. Have you seen the black and white 1930s The Thing?
No, I haven't.
If you haven't, I do recommend it. It's pretty horrific for a 1930s film.
Yeah, because that's the original version, isn't it? Because The Thing is technically is The Thing a remake of a yes. So it's based on the 19. I'm actually got the Wikipedia up here. It's based on the 1938 novella. Also, go check out James's novella. The advertisement will be in the Miller's podcast. Titled "Who Goes There," and it encounters a American researcher Antarctica who deal with a parasitic extraterrestrial life form that assimilates them. Just insane, the fact that 1938. Oh, so it was there was actually an adaptation in The Thing from Another World in 1951. There was a film then, and the production for this movie began in the mid-70s. Also, found a little treat about The Thing. Kurt Russell was actually the last to be cast for that movie, which I think is really interesting, to be honest, because John Carpenter had worked with him already, and he wanted to cast a different actor. This is what I found out from another podcast I watched. So I was really interesting to find out. But if you've not seen The Thing, people, I'm not going to spoil it for you. It is an amazing movie. It really did not do well at the box office when it first came out. This and Blade Runner. So The Thing was made for $15 million. It only made just under $20 million in America. And Blade Runner was made for $30 million. It only made $41 million. It just goes to show, though, that cult classics really do later on become, cult classics. It just becomes amazing to go back and rewatch these films. If you're going to watch Blade Runner with Harrison Ford and a few other people, and Rutger Hauer, and also Commander Adama himself from Battlestar Galactica, Edward James Olmos. Go watch the final cut of Blade Runner. It's the best version to watch that movie, and then watch the sequel by Denis Villeneuve, Blade Runner 2049, which came out a few years ago.
I have not seen this yet, actually.
Oh, I highly recommend it. It's really good. And there was an anime series called Blade Runner Black Lotus that was released last year as well. Of course, you saw the anime.
Well, I say anime. The animation was pretty bad.
Well then, I remember when we went to go watch Blade Runner, the volcanic ash incident happened in or was it volcanic ash, or was it the Sahara desert that was blowing the dust?
The Icelandic volcano exploded, grounding all flights for like ages. I do remember that.
Yeah, because it was really weird because we went to go watch Blade Runner 2049, and a lot of it is like orange and beige and like, a lot of and then we came out the cinema, it was all blue when we went in, and everything was just orange and brown. And it was literally like we were coming in a 4D, like a live 4DX experience. Like it was weird to come out into that. It was ridiculous but hilarious at the same time. It was so good. Yeah, I definitely recommend that, people. But no, happy 40th anniversary to Blade Runner and The Thing. I never knew they came out on the same day, and it just goes to show people that, though a movie may not do well initially at the box office, they do much better later on. Much better later on. And obviously, The Thing had, a video game adaptation, comic book series later on, had the prequel movie, which wasn't as good. And I know Jason Blum is actually looking at doing a possible sequel or adaptation, a remake of The Thing.
Okay.
With Blumhouse, they do actually really do a good job with a lot of their films. So it'll be really interesting to see what they do. But yes, happy 40th anniversary to Blade Runner and The Thing. Definitely go watch them, people, if you've not seen them. Don't let hearing the words 40 years old put you off, because they really do hold up and they are mesmerizing films. Go check them out. So, going over to another film that's actually from an older collection, we have, now Fergus was telling me beforehand he's never seen the original of this movie, Hocus Pocus. A 1993 American fantasy comedy horror film directed by Kenny Ortega, written by Neil Cuthbert and Mike Garris, following a villainous comedic trio of witches who are inadvertently resurrected by a teenager boy in Salem, Massachusetts on Halloween, and the comedic exploits that go on after that. The film even itself, back in the day, $28 million budget, only made $45 million at the box office. It was considered a box office failure with mixed reviews. It's getting a sequel, people. It's getting a sequel on Disney Plus in September, with the original cast coming back with Bette Midler, Sarah Jessica Parker, Kathy, Najimy, Doug Jones, which was one of his first films, I believe, as the creepy zombie guy. I said I've only really seen the film once or twice when I was younger. It's really interesting to see, these movies come back, and to think this movie it'll be released 29 years pretty much after the original movie, and just seeing this come back is interesting, to be honest, because I saw the trailer, and there's this hilarious musical sequence in that movie. They actually do have a look at musical performance, because you have Bette Midler in your movie, you're gonna have a musical performance. The amazing Bette Midler. Again, coming to Disney Plus on September 30th. I'm surprised they did not release this on Halloween. That's the one thing for a witch movie.
Yeah, that would have been a good shout. So I literally only know Hocus Pocus 1 as a GIF. So it's obviously got cultural staying power somewhere. But...
So you don't know the song, I Put a Spell on You?
I mean, I know the song, but not in reference to the film.
Oh, of course. That's fair. That's fair. But yeah, no, obviously, really looking forward to seeing that. I'll probably go back and watch the original. I believe the original's on Disney Plus as well, so I don't hold me to that, people. It might be on there. Who knows? We're just going to keep in the same vein now, people. The same vein of films, classic films getting sequels, and more news coming out. You haven't seen the recent Ghostbusters movie, the sequel Afterlife, did you, Fergus?
I did not. I kind of left Ghostbusters at maybe the original 1 or 2. I don't think.
Vigo. Do you remember Vigo? With the Statue of Liberty moving. Do you remember the statue with the goo and the dancing toaster?
I don't remember a dancing toaster.
Lifting me higher. We're gonna get demonetized for me singing that, but who cares? No. So obviously, we had the sequel, the official sequel, not the Ghostbusters reboot that happened with Kristen Ritter. Not Kristen Ritter. Sorry. Melissa McCarthy in that, and it did not do well. I really did not like that film. Love the actresses in it, love the cast in it. I thought it could have been a great movie, great premise, but the story itself was not great. The official sequel, though, directed by Jason Reitman, the son of Ivan Reitman, it was great in my opinion. It was it was not big and grandiose compared to the original. Like, and to be fair, the original wasn't huge. It was, it was a really, it had huge elements, but not to, this was not to that level. And obviously, they're coming back for a sequel. So with this, it's confirmed that the movie will hit cinemas next December, on December 20th. And it will confirm it's going to return to New York City, because in Ghostbusters Afterlife, it actually takes place in Oklahoma, in a small community in Oklahoma, and it follows the grandchildren of Egon Spengler. Obviously, the actor who played Egon Spengler passed away before the film came out a few years before, and it's really sad. But it was really interesting to see how they played that into the movie. I'm not going to spoil it for you, Fergus. I do really highly recommend going to watch it, because it's one of those movies that it's not like groundbreaking at all in any sense of the word, but it's just a really, really good film to just put on and watch. Just really good fun to watch, and it's under 2 hours. I believe it's just under 2 hours, which is a magical word to hear. Unless you're Doctor Strange, which I think should have been longer, because that just didn't stop for anything. But yeah, that's Ghostbusters Afterlife sequel. No official title yet. Maybe we'll think of a title later on in the podcast. But yeah, that's coming out December 20th. Oh yeah, my that date's very good for me. I won't say why. Comes out 2023 next year, so definitely plenty of time for that to come out. I'm really looking forward to see if the original cast come back. Staying in the realm of, classic people, classic characters, not just in film, but in like multiple genres of media. Fergus, I believe you know of an author called John Williams.
Yes, the famous composer.
Now, I believe you brought this to my attention, Fergus.
Yes, according to Classic FM, he is giving up making film scores or leaving movies altogether. I think he's effectively approaching retirement, which, I mean, he's quite old now, so fair enough.
90 years old?
Yeah, you might as well have some free time, right? He has been going great guns for some time now on a huge number of films.
60 years? Almost 60 years?
He's been just absolutely everywhere my entire life. So
no, of course, yeah, all of us, yeah. You can't in the world today. You cannot go anywhere without hearing any possible thing. Superman, Star Wars, Harry Potter, Indiana Jones, Jaws. One of the most iconic themes of all time, which is just a two keys played throughout most of the thing. And honestly, I'm really glad that this man did all this audio, all these compositions. Come on, man, Duel of the Fates.
Yeah,
legendary music. The Superman theme song. Like, you hear that theme, and even now, people today, you have all these new incarnations of Superman coming out, and everyone wants that John Williams theme in there. The Smallville, the TV show, ended with that theme song.
Because the stuff he's composed has become like completely synonymous with the origins of quite a lot of these franchises that are still going today. Like, they are the original Hooks. So
yeah. Oh, and he did Hook, ironically.
There we go.
Pun not intended, but Hook's a great movie. People go check that out. It's absolutely a brilliant film. Yeah, no, big respect for John Williams. I think after this I may have to go put on a bit of John Williams to go relax to when I'm going to play some games later, depending on what I might play. I will say though, there were definitely some tracks within specifically The Last Jedi, which I actually did quite enjoy. It's the audio where Luke is walking out to meet Kylo Ren, and with the First Order walkers there, and he's like, it's a slow momentous build up of the audio when he's walking out. I think that's the apart from March of the Resistance track, that's the one thing I most remember from the sequels. And also, I found out that Mark Hamill's children are supposedly in that scene when he's walking out as the final time as Luke Skywalker in physical person, which I think is really interesting. And I do think that's that's one of my favorite things about the sequel trilogy. But yeah, no, mad respect for John Williams. I believe Indiana Jones will be his final film, supposedly.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so really look forward to that. Though he won't retire from music, so it'll be really interesting to see what he moves on to after that. Because I don't think we've ever really got, not that I'm aware of, any like John Williams originals that aren't film related.
Yeah, I mean, he's been so in demand for so long. I think he's been making a lot of things that other people want him to make. So yeah, it probably stands to reason he's got an opera or two in the back pocket that he probably wants to get out.
Imagine that his final crescendo, as it were, just releasing one original John Williams score album. Just the amount of people would buy that would be insane, to be honest. Which would be amazing. It'd be lovely, lovely to see. Again, congratulations to John Williams for the amount of stuff he's done for almost 6 decades, I want to say, and we look forward to hearing what he does later on after that. Flipping over to someone else who's who left, but it might possibly come back, is Birdman himself, Christian Bale. He has come out and said that he would do another Batman movie, but only if Christopher Nolan was doing it.
Now, that does sound interesting to me. It's my favourite version of Batman, but it does seem quite hard seeing that coming back now they've committed to the new direction of this particular Batman.
I mean, we do have Affleck and Keaton in the Flash movie, and Keaton is going to be in the Batgirl movie, and we have Patterson.
Oh, it's like
multiverse.
Yeah.
And also, you have your Joker sequel supposedly happening, which is not set to its own thing as well. I know a lot of people have said that DC should go the opposite route to Marvel. They should just do individual movies. I will say, I'm getting a bit tired of Batman. There's so many DC characters.
Yeah, I do.
So agree. Many. Like, we're getting a Blue Beetle movie. We're getting a Batgirl movie.
Mm-hmm.
The Joker movie, I'm actually really looking forward to, like, if it's a musical.
Again, that is going to be seen to be believed, that one.
I mean, I'd definitely up for that. In fact, there's Todd Phillips, who obviously, he was amazing when he did Joker, but to go from The Hangover to the Joker to a Joker musical is still hilarious to me, no pun intended. But yeah, no, obviously, Superman has been underutilized in my opinion. He people diss on Man of Steel, but I really loved that film. Everyone criticized the destruction in that movie. I'm like, he is a super-powered being trying to stop another super-powered being. There's gonna be damage.
Yeah, I mean, the Avengers destroy entire cities accidentally.
Yeah, exactly.
These things happen.
I mean, they couldn't stop the end of half of the universe. People getting wiped out.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, no, obviously we got Wonder Woman sequel coming as well. But yeah, there's a whole plethora of characters that they could use. We're getting Black Adam in October with Dwayne Johnson. We're getting Shazam 2, which I'm really looking forward to because I really enjoyed the first Shazam movie, and we're getting Aquaman 2 as well. So we're getting that as well, and obviously the Flash movie, which we won't go into. But with DC though, and if Christian Bale did want to come back, it would be interesting. The problem is though, is that movie ends in a weird way to me. I wasn't the biggest fan of the ending of that movie because they had Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character revealed as Robin, which I thought was weird that his actual name was Robin, and how it ended with the lift up of him becoming the new Batman, essentially, whatever he was going to be.
Yeah. You kind of need to telegraph that he is, Robin the character. I think because I don't know if I really fully got that the first time round, if I'm honest. Because again, I'm used to them being in their kind of standard 1960s outfit.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it depends on what version of Rob as well. Because I mean, they could have just called him Grayson. His last name could have been Grayson, which is Dick Grayson. Mind you, if you said, "Oh yeah, my first name's Dick," I probably people's yeah, exactly. People's brains would giggle still at that, even though it's just Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the fact as soon as I said that, the smirk. I just saw the smirk on Fergus's face as soon as I said that.
The internet would have endless fun with that one.
But I mean, the film ends in an interesting way. He retires. Him and Alfred see each other from across the way. I don't know how you could continue that film series. I really don't.
He would have to return, as you say, as one of these multiverse characters, or be that particular Batman in a multiverse that mainly concentrated on one of the villains that we didn't necessarily see in those three films, because then it would have to be set within those three films as well and be written into that lore, because Batman's,
I mean, we were supposed to get a Batman versus Superman movie with Brandon Routh's Superman back in the day, and that was supposed to be Christian Bale's Batman, because the film I Am Legend.
Yes.
There's a poster in that movie for Batman versus Superman.
Yes.
Yeah, and also we're getting an I Am Legend sequel supposedly still, which I don't know how if you know how that film ends, Like unless they have to use the alternate ending, that's all I'm gonna say. Like that's the only way I can see them actually doing that, to be honest. But yes, massive fan of Christian Bale. Love Robert Pattinson. I know Fergus was.
I prefer the Christian Bale version to the Robert Pattinson version.
I actually prefer the Ben Affleck version to both of them.
Mm.
I think Ben Affleck's the best version of Batman, in my opinion. Apart from the killing aspect, you know, I think he physically and visually, I think he's the best looking Batman. And also, he nailed Bruce Wayne, in my opinion. Like, if you watch the Batman animated series and have a comparison image, it's literally pretty much shot for shot Ben Affleck. And I'm really hoping that Ben Affleck, if Ben Affleck might possibly stick around, hopefully we might get that a Ben Affleck movie where he fights Deathstroke, which I think would be amazing because Deathstroke needs to be around because he's an amazing villain for DC, which he's underutilized as well. Maybe not in animation, but in live action, definitely. Yeah, really looking forward to that. So it seems that Netflix is going to start showing adverts. The chief executive confirms.
I do not like this at all, to the point where I may give up my shared password. Because I'm that guy. Bye bye Netflix, I think.
How dare you? How dare you betray the net of Flex?
There's many other places on the streaming verse to go.
That is true, and because you still don't even have bloody Disney Plus yet. No, exactly. So the only way I could see this happening is they'd have to lower the subscription fee if they're putting advertisements in. That's the only way they could do it. Now, people have said they would watch it with adverts because, like, Spotify has adverts for the free version, but it's free.
Yes, the same with Crunchyroll. Actually, the free version of Crunchyroll has ads, and the quality is shocking.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. They probably lower the visual quality. They could go the Now TV route and lower it to 720p. That could happen. If they did that much cheaper. I don't think they would. I think there would be a minimum 1080. They just want to get 4K. But I've always been for, like, I think they should have a student fee for Netflix. Like, if students want Netflix, they should have like a much lower fee, like Amazon do for Amazon Prime, a student Prime essentially. You know.
Yeah, maybe. But I say people are cutting back on a lot of things, like even the electricity to run the TV to watch Netflix sort of level. So, I mean...
Yeah, that's going to be very interesting if all that happens. Obviously, and also with Netflix, they're cancelling a lot of good shows as well before they're done, which is a whole conversation, you know.
Wasted money on their part.
We can have Cowboy Bebop. That's what I'm going to say. People diss on Cowboy Bebop, but one more season would have been done. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. And John Cho got injured for that show as well. I think he was rightfully cancelled too early. Or even just give him one more chance. Because you can change stuff in a second season. But I digress. I don't want to get into that because I'll just keep going. I'll keep going on that, to be honest. So yeah, that's pretty much the only TV news item we have this week. Obviously, there was a bit more development on the Snow TV show front, how Kit Harington was actually in conversations with actually this show being in development from quite early on. So if Kit Harington actually has the interest of coming back for Game of Thrones, I'm a bit more inclined to give it a go. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do after that ending. Like, because he just goes off, he goes beyond the wall. Like, I don't know what you could do, but, you know, who knows? And if you're going to do it, maybe have a limited series. Don't try and do 10 seasons of Snow. Like, you know, like, that's the running title for it, Snow.
Exhausted franchise, my God.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. And we're getting Lord of the Rings soon. So, you know, in a few months, I'm really looking forward to that. Really looking forward to that. So, switching up to the video games, Fergus, the video games. We actually just watched the Gotham Knights Robin trailer coming from Warner Brothers Montreal. How do we feel about that?
I prefer his fighting style. He's got a big stick that does fancy things.
Big stick.
He's also... Now, tech in this universe, they seem to be quite technologically advanced.
I mean, they do have a floating watchtower in space. Yeah. And they do have a man called Superman, who is a god.
Yeah, but he's not technologically... I mean, he's... So they've got a teleportation satellite that will teleport Robin locally a couple of meters during a fight. Sure.
So I know. Did you ever watch the Young Justice TV show?
Probably not enough of it. No.
Or I don't know if it was in Justice League, but they have what's called Zeta tubes. So basically, in those shows, they actually had like teleportation between places. So they actually did have teleportation technology developed. Now, don't get me wrong, teleporting it, as you said, a few meters. No, this was actually you had to go into a walkway to go to a different location. I don't know why they just didn't have maybe a magical element like portal jumping, like maybe Nightcrawler-esque, like because Nightcrawler can teleport. You know, it's a but. I think like Robin is not meant to have superpowers, so and also this is the Tim Drake version of Robin, so this is actually supposed to be the best version of Robin that Batman saw. Really, you know, in the I believe in the comic books, everyone sees Tim Drake as the best Robin. Now, Dick Grayson is seen as like the Lothario of the Robins and the best person to take over for Batman, I believe, or it was a case of he didn't want to be Batman, but he was his own person. Jason Todd, Red Hood, no. And then you have Tim Drake, who was the best of all of them. Essentially, he was extremely smart, or he is extremely smart, and he was just amazing at his character. What I saw in that gameplay, I actually really liked his movement and his actual animation fighting style. I think like
yeah, just a lot better than the other fighting content we've seen from this game.
So I do rank. So I think it would go Robin, Nightwing, then Red Hood at the bottom. We haven't seen Batgirl yet, and I'm really interested in seeing how she fights. I think it'll be quite similar to Robin, like, but I think she'll have more of the tech. She'll have more of the tech-based combat. She will, because obviously, you know, she's Oracle. You know, she's Batgirl. She's more tech-based. But for Tim Drake's Robin, though, I'm very interested to see where this goes, because I did love that bit in the trailer where he just like boings a guy with in the face with the staff and just smacks him up in the. I thought that was quite funny, to be honest. The teleportation aspect, though, I'm wondering how it's going to play out. I thought it was a bit on the nose, actually saying, "Oh, I've got teleportation technology. Maybe I can use this."
It's there to explain that mechanic, and that mechanic makes that fighting super cool. So why not?
Yeah,
from a game's point of view, probably.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely. So obviously, you know, really look forward to that's coming out October 25th. We'll actually talk about that a bit later on. Going on to our next news item. This is actually blending with TV. Maybe we should have blended this a bit easier. So the Horizon, the TV series. It's containing names. First assistant director Jack Boehm from The Boys and art director Michael Brady. This does interest me. The Expanse and Saw 2. Now, The Expanse is a visually stunning show, so the art director could be really good for this. Obviously, this is a Netflix adaptation, and it's called currently Horizon 2074, and supposedly it's going to take place in 2 timelines. Now, I'm wondering if this will be like, you know, present day and in the past, because have you played Horizon Zero Dawn?
No, I did pick up a free comic book from Comic-Con that I haven't got around to reading yet.
It's fucking dark. Do you know what? I'm not going to spoil it too much because you do go to play the game, and it's really interesting to see how Horizon Zero Dawn plays out, because I do recommend playing it. But yeah, because the actual game's set like 1,000 years after the events, like at least 1,000 years. But the actual origin of it is quite dark. Like it's like Terminator in reverse, essentially, because it's a post-apocalyptic world. You know, and the one concern I have for the show is the budget. Now, Stranger Things did have almost a $300 million budget. The amount of mechanics, the mechanical aspect of this, like if it's going to be a prequel, the amount of war in this, the CGI needed is going to be insane.
I do agree. I don't know how they're going to do it.
God of War will be easier to pull off. God of War will be easier to pull off than this show, in my opinion.
Yeah. No,
God of War's a lot more character based than CGI and like practicality. The volume is going to have to be used quite a bit, in my opinion. Like I think they're going to have to utilize that quite a bit, to be honest. But we will see. And they're going to be filming in Toronto. Get those tax incentives supposedly. That'll be really interesting to see. This is actually coming from Jeff Grubb on Twitter. So I'm really looking forward to see what they do here. Really hopeful. I'm wondering what the cast is going to be like, because there's a reason for that. the cast. I won't spoil it, but it'll be interesting to see what plays out. Shifting over to another property, though, I kind of wish we got. Now, you haven't seen The Boys, have you, Fergus?
I have not, no.
So supposedly, Hideo Kojima was gonna had shelved a game concept because it was too similar to The Boys, and he wanted Mads Mikkelsen to star in it.
Kojima's version of that could have been very interesting.
Supposedly, though, the creator of The Boys TV show wants to work with Kojima now to create this product.
Cool.
I'd be down for that. I'd be fucking down for that.
If Kojima's up for it, then sure.
And Mads Mikkelsen is he's just phenomenal as an actor. There's not one actor I could think of who could take over Anthony Hopkins as Hannibal Lecter apart from him. And obviously he was great in other properties he's been in. But I'm really interested to see what they do, because obviously we've got the Kojima PS5 game coming out, which obviously most people realize is pretty much Death Stranding 2. And then you have this Xbox game coming out. I'm wondering what that game could have been. It would have been interesting. But supposedly, it would have been a buddy male-female thing with a special detective facing off against the legendary heroes behind the scenes, which is literally The Boys. But I'd really be interested in this still. I mean, at the end of the day, it can work still. It can work. Just do it. Could do it, Kojima. We want it. You work with Eric Kripke to make this property. It'd be really interesting to see. Oh, and The Boys is just fucked up this season. Jesus Christ, it's so messed up. We'll actually be doing a Boys Season 3 roundup review with a few other people from the crew of The Informers when we finish that show in a few weeks' time. So it'll be really interested to see what we do there. Speaking of difficulty and fucked upness, Elden Ring, Fergus, I know you haven't played this game.
I haven't played it. I haven't really watched much beyond VTuber clips of them getting squashed, basically.
Yeah, obviously, myself and James, we're not good at these games. We're not good from software games, like Souls-like games. But I recommended James pick it up, and he's really playing it quite a bit. I believe he's even playing it right now. I've got like over 130 hours in this game, Elden Ring. It's absolutely stunning. I'm probably going to go back to it when DLC comes out, because there was a certain boss I just couldn't get past. I was like, I'm done for now. There's other games I can play. But it seems that Hideki Miyazaki, I hope I pronounced his name correctly, hints that their next game is almost complete. It's in the final stages of development, according to the Japanese language publication 4Gamer. This is insane. They've just done Elden Ring, and they've probably got 2 development teams. But the fact that the next game is almost complete is just insane. It's probably from the Sekiro team. I don't know if Sekiro was much working on the Elden Ring. I don't know which team it was, but I'd be really interested to see what they do here, to be honest.
Do we know anything about this new game? Has there been any teaser?
Nothing at all. We know nothing at all. Nothing at all.
It'll be interesting to see where it's at then, I guess.
Yeah. Be wondering what goes on there. So, Fergus, shall we hop over to a bit of Steam, or let's deck out that information with a bit of Steam Deck? That was a terrible segue, terrible fun, but I don't care.
What is happening in Valve Land?
Valve Land, you say? It seems they are going to try to double the number of Steam Decks they're going to ship.
Makes sense.
So I was originally booking. So I've been considering getting a Steam Deck for a while. I did originally pre-order one, the £540 version, I believe it was, and I canceled my pre-order because I was like, at the time I didn't know how they were going to be when they actually released. Supposedly people are loving this handheld device now. Like, it runs really well for a lot of games, and obviously Steam are doing a pre-approved list that people can see before they even purchase games now, which I think is really awesome to play on Steam Deck. And there's a ton of games that play on the Steam Deck. But really interested to see, to be honest. Valve is currently working on the Q3 reservations, and hopefully to push out double the number of Steam Decks coming out every week. So I may go back and get this. I know the Steam Deck's docking station is coming eventually. I'm a bit frustrated that it didn't come with the Steam Deck. Like, the dock, you'd think it would. But who knows? Maybe we'll later on. So, Fergus, shall we move on to our final news segment for the video game section?
Yes. What do we have?
We've got Nintendo, baby! We've got some Nintendo. We had a Nintendo Direct Mini come out. Obviously, we had games like Persona announced, so really look forward to playing that when it comes out. Persona Persona 5, I just got to get the names here correctly. Persona 5 Royal, Persona 4 Golden, Persona 3 Portable are coming to Nintendo Switch. I believe they're coming on October 25th, 21st at least, and then Persona 4 and Persona 3 later on. And they're coming to Game Pass later on in the year. What I want to talk about, though, is a lovely, lovely game called Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope, sorry. Coming out, finally got a release date for October 20th of this year. Did you play the first Mario Rabbids game, Fergus?
Yes, I very, very much enjoyed the first Mario Rabbids game. I was the first time I think I've seen a crossover between originally the Rayman Rabbids and Mario, which at the time was quite an unusual crossover. But definitely spent like the entire Christmas really just working away at this game. Think XCOM but cuter.
Yeah, pretty much that. It's it. And I'm going to give you a little bit of an inside story now. I've never finished this game.
No, neither have I. It does get really hard towards the end.
Where did you get to? I got to Bowser Jr. pretty much, and I was pretty much done after that. I really need to go back and finish the game. It was brilliant though. Like the actual mechanics of even attacking within movement was great. And seeing this trailer today, going by the gameplay trailer, people, you'll be able to freely move. So in the previous game, you had to move within a grid. Now they've added a whole new movement element where you'll be able to move, attack, and then stop, and then be able to attack again, like the previous game, but there's a whole other added element to it. And I'm the fact it's coming October 20th. It seems October is going to be a very, very busy month.
Lining up for those Christmas sales, I think.
Oh yeah. We're getting Call of Duty, I believe, in October. We're getting Gotham Knights. We're getting Plague Tale Requiem. We're getting this Mario Rabbids Sparks of Hope. It's going to be a busy month, busy month, especially for us here at NMI, because we'll be doing a lot of reviews for that, no doubt.
Yep.
But no, love Mario Rabbids. I really want my Galaxy 2 announcement. Not Galaxy 2, Odyssey 2. I want my Super Mario Odyssey 2 announcement.
Yes, that would be good.
Because I still feel the ending to that game. The ending to that game changing to that music that they played at the end, I did not expect, and it was so good. It was so fun. I'm not going to spoil it for you people, but it was a brilliant ending. I never collected those 999 stars, though. I was not on moons. I was not doing that. But brilliant game. I'm obviously Nintendo, so we're going to play it. And it just gives me hope to go back to my Nintendo Switch, because there haven't been many games to pull me back, to be honest. There is a game that might pull me back for a little bit, and it's a game that's probably been out for so long now. So long. And Fergus, have you heard about the cake?
The cake?
Yeah, do you know about the cake, right?
The one down the local bakery?
Yes, but I've heard it's a lie, though.
Oh, that's a shame. It looks
I know.
real.
I know. That was a terrible 30-second joke that we pulled in there. It was actually terrible, people. But yes, it seems that the Portal series is coming to Nintendo Switch. Not anytime soon, not anytime earlier, but it's today on June 28th. So is now Portal Companion Collection is out on Switch today. Now, isn't that a triumph, people? Yes, I'm going to throw that in there as well. This is absolutely terrible. I don't care. I'm leaving it in there. How do we feel about Portal coming to Nintendo Switch now?
It's good that it's being more accessible. I think it has sort of drifted away from the public. Again, just being able to get their hands on it and play it. Switch is a new audience. It's old enough to be able to run on the Switch, which sounds it's a bit of a diss, but it's true.
Yeah, and also like with Portal, I'm just wondering how that will play out on the Switch as well. I'm really wondering, to be honest.
Oh, as in insert motion controls to it. I don't know.
That could be very sickly, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean it's already hard enough.
Oh yeah, definitely. But I believe that is Portal 1 and 2 coming to Switch. Yes. So really looking forward to seeing that, to be honest. Really looking forward to seeing that. One more game series that's returning to the Switch, coming to consoles first on Switch, Return to Monkey Island.
I don't think I played this when it first came out, but it is legendary.
I've never played this series either, but I've heard Monkey Island is absolutely brilliant. I'm probably going to have to play this now.
Yeah.
and I'm really looking forward to seeing what goes on there. I'm really, really, really am looking forward to seeing what goes on there. Obviously, can't really say much because neither of us have really played it, to be honest. But the art style looks really fun. The art style looks really nice, and we'll definitely give that a go when it comes out. I don't believe it has a release date yet, but I believe it's coming to Nintendo Switch. I believe that was what was told. So yes, people, that is the news, people. And I'm so glad you've all joined us for that.
An illegal spy agency discovers the theft of a prototype weapon. Derek, codename Confused Llama, and his handler, Frank, codename Majestic Vole, investigate the theft. A naive man with fanciful notions, Derek sets out on his inept journey to reclaim the weapon from villainous hands, unaware of the hidden tale following him. Enter the world of Confused Llama, A Spy's Tale, a short comedic spy thriller available on Amazon in paperback or Kindle.
So, obviously, with 2022, and we're halfway through the year now, people.
Yep.
COVID's finally behind us. I'm joking. It's still looming in the darkness, waiting for us. As it's already caught me a second time. So
yeah, it's still out there, isn't it?
Yeah, very much is. But let's not dwell on the dark. Let's dwell on the light in the future, people. The light in the future. And that is video games. All the video games that we're getting. And we're all really, really looking forward to seeing what's coming. Now, myself and Fergus, we've come up with a top 3 list for each of us. What we're really looking forward to seeing what's coming out in the rest of 2022. We'll probably. I don't know if you've got any honorable mentions yourself, Fergus. I've got a few honorable mentions myself, which I might mention very briefly before we get into the top 3.
No. I say we're halfway through the year, so if we're for the next 6 months, I'm pretty set on the ones I am getting hype for.
That's fair. Well, how about we hop straight into our list? So, do you mind if I
Yes, by all
means.
Week?
Yeah, let's flip it this week. So I'll just do the honorable mentions first. Then go into my top 1. So my honorable mentions are A Plague Tale Requiem, which I'm really looking forward to this game. Obviously, the sequel is coming out on October 18th, around my birthday. Hint, hint, people. It's set during the Black Plague, and I was reading an article about this. How the technology for this is absolutely insane compared to the first one. Like how the first game could only render like maybe 5,000 to 6,000 rats on screen at once. This one can render 300,000 rats at once.
I like that. How that's the metric. Rats.
I mean, it's free.
Rats.
I've heard from another podcast. It is a tsunami of rats can appear on a screen at once now.
Oh my god!
This game is going to be day 1 on Game Pass as well, and the first one is already on Game Pass now. So go play A Plague Tale: Innocence. It follows Amicia and Hugo during I'm not going to spoil anything more than that. This is more of an action adventure game, the sequel. They're adding more action elements, which actually it doesn't seem to be pushing too much more action, but it seems to be just the right amount. It's from Asobo Studio, and I'm really looking forward to this game. Stupidly looking forward to it. That's published by Fergus Entertainment. Dropping over to another one, though, which we actually did mention earlier, is Mario Rabbids Spark of Hope. So I really almost did put this in my top 3, but I think I just need to see more of this game before if I did put in my top 3, to be honest. And obviously that's coming out on October 20th, and it is a turn-based adventure strategy game, developed between Ubisoft Paris and Ubisoft Milan, and it's published by Ubisoft. It's a sequel to Mario Rabbids Kingdom's Battle, and it's set for release on October 20th, 2022. Can't wait for that. No, maybe we'll have some multiplayer, Fergus. How does that sound?
Oh yeah, no, I'm definitely up for that.
Excellent. Well, I don't know. This game looks stunning. I'm finally looking forward to playing this because it's been 6 years since the original.
It's been a while. It doesn't feel like it's been that long because I do genuinely still play the original.
6 years? 2017? It'll be 6 years, right? Yeah, 6 years.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, 5, 6 years. Time. Yeah. What is that, people? Couple very quick mentions is The Last of Us Part 1. Which is coming out September 2nd. Really looking forward to playing that. Obviously, it's called Part 1 now because obviously it's using the same engine as Part 2. No doubt I'm going to replay this game. I believe they're keeping the same story, but I'm really looking forward to seeing how the upgraded mechanics play into Part 1, see how much they change it. Because it was really stunning. And obviously we've got the show coming out soon. Final honorable mention, just quickly run through these people, is the Callisto Protocol, coming out on December 2nd, 2022. I've heard this game is going to be gory as fuck. Like, they actually released a news article saying this game is going to be much gorier than people anticipated, which I'm like, yes, give me that gore. And yeah, again, I'm a big Dead Space fan. It's one of the original creative Dead Space. And obviously Dead Space is coming out in January next year, but that's 2023, people. This is 2022 we're talking about. And yeah, I just really look forward to seeing what happens with this game. Obviously, it's set in 2320 on a prison colony called Black Iron, operated by the United Jupiter Company, and is located on Jupiter's moon Callisto. You play prisoner Jacob Lee, played by Josh Duhamel, and you have to find themselves in the midst of an alien invasion. And it seems to be engineered by the warden of the prison, because it always is. It's always the fucking warden in those things. I'm just really looking forward to this game. I think the gameplay demo that they showed us recently was great. I think, having the beginning of the game and the midpoint of the game and showing us the gory ending the character can have is a great idea. Yeah, again, just really look forward to the Callisto Protocol coming out on December 2nd. But, right, let's get into my number 3. So my number 3 is actually a game we talked about earlier. It is Gotham Knights. So Gotham Knights, for me, I think I'm looking forward to this game because I'm a massive Arkham fan. Now, I know this isn't developed by Rocksteady. It is being developed by Warner Bros. Montreal, but they did develop the Arkham Origins game, which I thought was great back in the day. I think it was underappreciated for what it was. I think the story was brilliant. It's coming out October 25th, and obviously you're going to be playing as the 4 Bat Children, essentially, the Bat family, Dick Grayson, Barbara Gordon, Tim Drake, and Jason Todd. And Alfred Pennyworth is involved in it, and there's loads of other characters, and you're going to be finding the Talons. This is one of the main reasons why I'm looking forward to this game, is because the Talons are it's the Court of Owls storyline from the comic books, which is like a secret rich society who have been like in control of Gotham for like hundreds of years. And I'm hoping that this is where the Batman Matt Reeves series is going. If you've seen the Batman, you could kind of see it's going to go in that direction. But with this game itself, though, there was a recent news article about how this is going to be the biggest version of Gotham there is. That's great and everything, but it needs to be filled. It needs to be populated well enough. That's a concern I have. I'm hoping that the combat is tighter, because as we spoke about in a previous podcast, the Jason Todd Red Hood combat looked the weakest out of all of these. Now, this is really hard for me to say to my number 3 on my top anticipated games, but I just think because it's a Batman title, and I love me some comic books, really loving to see what they do here. I'm a big fan of Tim Drake and Dick Grayson, Nightwing. I'm just really looking forward to see how this plays out. So obviously it's been developed by Unreal Engine 4. Would have been interested to see Unreal Engine 5. They are doing a CW TV show though called Gotham Knights, which has a similar, well, not a similar premise to this, but I'm wondering how that's going to play out. I've heard mixed reviews about that, to be honest. Don't know how that will play out. Really looking forward to this video game. Hopefully it plays out really well. But Fergus, I'm going to flip it over to you now, man. What's your number 3?
Number 3, in no particular order, let's say. Number 3 is Stray.
Hey!
Yes. Up-and-coming adventure game developed by Blue 12 Studio, published by Annapurna. Scheduled for release on 19th of July this year. Will be on a range of platforms.
Yay, much soon.
Is developed in Unreal Engine 5. So I am looking forward to wandering the cyberpunk streets with raycast puddles and as a cat. I think it is quite an interesting game, really. Like, it's not often you get to play as an actual animal, like an animal you would have in our real world. So it really shifts the perspective of the cyberpunk universe. I don't think there are any actual humans. It's primarily these robot humanoid computer head face guys. So how the cat communicates and what missions you get and what you have to do, or if it's going to be interesting.
So I do have to jump in and say it is actually developed in Unreal Engine 4 still. It's not Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, it's going from the Wikipedia here, it is saying Unreal Engine 4.
Oh. Well, Google, which is referencing Wikipedia, is listing it as Unreal Engine 5.
Interesting. Wonder how that plays out.
Bit of both. Maybe they're, porting it I don't know if you can do such things.
I'm sure it'll be a perfect experience. No, I'm really looking forward to this game as well. So yeah, it's developed by Annapurna. So going off the wiki here, you do play as a stray cat in a world of robots, and the enemies are Zerks, who attack the player in vicious swarms. You're accompanied by a drone called B12. Gotta love some robots. When you watch Obi-Wan, you'll know why. But yeah, the fact that this is coming out in 3 weeks as well.
Yeah, it's really soon. I've been tracking this game for a while now. I'd say a few years. The development has advanced considerably since the initial concept, which I think most people found quite strange initially. But I hope it's like a full fleshed out game.
Yeah, so actually reading the development here, it says they've been working on it since 2015.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah, it's called the HK project back in the day. And it was developed by the Blue 12 founders, Kula and Viv. And obviously they're for Ubisoft. Yeah, I'm definitely down for this, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do here. Who doesn't love playing? I remember when this was first shown at the State of Play. I believe it was the PlayStation show. Oh no, it was the PlayStation Showcase. I believe that very long showcase, and they just had this video of a cat. I remember.
Yeah, I remember that.
My housemate is a big fan of cats, and he's definitely down for playing this. And it's going to be on PC as well.
Yep.
So it definitely helps you out there.
Yeah.
And as mentioned earlier in the podcast, people, I do love the fact that this is going to be on PlayStation Plus as well. So on PlayStation Extra, Deluxe, and Premium tiers. So you'll be able to just play it day one straight out of the gate, which I think is really interesting. PlayStation did say they're not putting their first-party titles on PlayStation Plus Extra onwards, but because with this being a third-party title, I'm wondering if that's how it's going to play out. Like certain third-party titles will come out day one. It'd be a really interesting concept for them to do. Thank you for that, Fergus. I'm kind of glad you put it on there. I unfortunately didn't put it on my list because I was kind of hoping you might put it on yours, and I was very happy to hear you do that to us. And earlier in the podcast, when I mentioned Stray, I was actually going to talk about myself, but I didn't realize you were, so you covered it for me. So, flipping over to my number 2, we're staying in the comic book realm now, and it's mentioned by another lovely person on this podcast, James. I'm looking forward to Firaxis's Marvel's Midnight Suns. Still don't fully know what's going on with this game, but the fact that I get to play Ghost Rider and Blade and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man in a game, and it's going to be from the development team who made XCOM, and is a tactical role-play game with a card system, I'm down for that. And it comes out October 7th. I don't know if I'm going to have time in October to play any of this, to be honest. The question is, would I play it on PC or console, is the question.
PC? I mean, if we're talking like tactical, turn-based, card-based, slow play, I don't know. I would always default to PC for something like that, personally. But
yeah, I get that. And you can customize your character at the beginning of the game. So you play as a character called the Hunter, which is a new character created for Marvel's Midnight Suns, and they can choose from up to 40 different abilities. Supposedly, this is going off the Wikipedia page. There'll be 13 different heroes. Included with the Hunter, it's Iron Man, like Captain America, Wolverine, Spider-Man, Scarlet Witch, because you have to, Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel, Blade, Ghost Rider, Magique, and Nico Monroe. And you'll be going up against Lilith, the Mother of Demons, and her forces, who's been revived by Hydra. That was my terrible German accent, but I don't care. Yeah, it's developed by the team who created Civilization, the XCOM series, and it's a Marvel property outside of like what we had with Marvel's Avengers. And I love the Spider-Man game series. I think the fact that you'll finally be able to play that soon, Fergus, I think is great, because Marvel Spider-Man is stunning.
Yeah, it'd be good to play that again. But this game, it does sound interesting. I've literally not even seen a trailer for this, so I'm trying to imagine it.
I mean, the fact that like Venom and Hulk are in this game as well, but they might not be the good guys in this one, which I think is interesting. And the fact we're getting Blade, the movie, soon as well, I think it's a good introduction, like to reintroduce Blade into the world after, the Blade movies, which are quite old now. The old Blade movies are quite old now. They're almost 20 years old. So, and also we have to thank Blade for the modern comic book world, in my opinion. The movie, a lot of people praise Spider-Man and X-Men, but Blade was the first one that went darker and more action-based.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is pre-planned cinematic universe Marvel, and someone decided it was a standalone good film, and hey, let's make it. It was great.
Yeah, and I believe I'm wondering from the looks of it, this seems to be the Danny Reyes, and I believe it's the Danny Reyes. Robbie Reyes. Danny Reyes, I believe, is a different person. Robbie Reyes, Roberto Reyes version of Ghost Rider, not the Johnny Blaze version. So this is the Ghost Rider who has the car, not the motorbike. So this will be a different version because there's like 3 different versions of Ghost Rider.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to seeing how this plays out. It's so going off with the gameplay, you play 30 different heroes. And also between combat missions, there's like this location called the Abbey, which is like your hub, and you can actually interact with characters in this place and talk to them, which I think's really an interesting element for XCOM. Well, for the developers of XCOM, because it was just before base building. You literally just upgraded your characters, upgraded your base, and that was it. There was no true like narrative element to it where you could actually learn more about its characters and learn more of a story between missions, which I think is an added bonus. And the fact that again we're getting this in October, so we're getting Stray in July, we're getting Last of Us in September, and this in October. It's just, and Gotham Knights in October as well. It's gonna be great for a few months to play these. And yeah, that was my number 2. What's your number 2, Fergus?
Next up, we have Rollerdrome. I don't know if you saw this in the...
Oh, I think I know exactly. Yeah, this is that shooter on rollerblades game, isn't it?
It is. Single-player, third-person action shooter that seamlessly blends high-octane combat with fluid motion, create an action experience like no other. As I say, I saw the trailer for this during the Summer Games Festival a few weeks ago, and it does look, as it describes, insane. Great. Like you can get an awful lot of air, you can do some shooting. It's probably not going to be too taxing on your PC because it's, let's say, indie-ish, which it is published by Roll7, I believe.
So I can say I'm actually looking at the Steam page for this now. The recommended specs are only an i3 610 or an AMD FX 6300 and a GTX 560 Ti or a Radeon HD R927X or Radeon Vegas 8. Yeah, and only 4 gigs of RAM. Yeah, you do not need a high-powered PC to play this game at all.
Yeah, will run on toaster. And say fluid action does look right from what I'm seeing. A lot of explosions. Kind of the graphics aren't too bad, like cartoony.
Well, this is from the developer of Ollie Ollie World and Ollie Ollie World, and Not Here in Ollie Ollie 2. So they weren't like the highest graphics out there, but they were stunning games. I've had people who've played those games, and I've heard people highly praise it. Going off of like Steam here, there's like 398 reviews just on Steam, and it's like an 85% rating for it. So just rewatching the trailer now, and it looks like what can I put this? Do you remember that film Rollerball or Death Ball? There was a film like where the people went around a rink and they fought and died, but it was like a cheesy 90s, early 2000s movie. Do you know what I mean?
I think I might have seen like comedy sketches alluding to it, but I don't think I've ever seen the original source of this.
Yeah, it's. I believe it starts Freddie Prinze Jr. or someone like that. But anyway, it's one of those like it feels like one of those 80s or 90s, early 90s movies where people are fighting like high octane, like rollerblade guns.
It describes itself as like retro future set in the 2030s. It's of corporations have taken over. You've got to kill people on roller skates for fun.
That's literally an 80s movie.
Yeah. Yeah. You get to play an 80s movie on a toaster. What more could you want?
It's kind of like a sequel to Marathon Man, or Running Man. Sorry, Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. This is a Rollerdrome instead. No, I saw the trailer for this. I will admit, not hugely my cup of tea, but I think it's a case of like maybe I just need to see more, and I think it's one of those games you definitely need to play with friends. Hopefully it's a good easy way of actually playing. Maybe there is hopefully is multiplayer.
It doesn't have multiplayer listed. It's a single player experience. Yeah,
interesting. That's interesting, to be honest.
Leaderboards, but I guess who knows?
Yeah.
Planned release 16th of August.
Again, a game
pretty soon.
a month after Stray. You've got a game per month, Fergus. You've got a game per month. How awesome will that be? How awesome will that be? So, obviously, that's your number 2, Fergus. Can you guess my number 1? Now, do you want me to, or shall I give you a hint?
Oh, give me a clue.
This game does not have a release date yet.
Oh, no.
But it is supposed to be this year.
Supposed to be this year.
And I have mentioned it already once today.
Is there a Blade game coming?
No, it's not Blade. Technically, there's a type of blade in it, but...
Sword fighting mega crabs. I don't know.
God of War.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, God of War Ragnarok.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously,
that's this year. Okay.
Kind of wish this news was coming out sooner because we don't know when this game's coming out yet. Supposedly it's still set for this year. There's rumors it's either October, like late October, or mid-November, which would be the perfect time to release this because it's set in winter as well, which would be the perfect time anyway. Don't get me wrong, all for game titles has been delayed, and I'm just looking forward to playing the game. As an avid fan, I thought I will admit I was not a big fan of the original God of War games, like the original PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 games. That style was not my cup of tea, even though I don't like tea. Perfect analogy for me. But when the remake or the sequel sort of like soft reboot came out with the new mechanics, new style, and more heavily focused on narrative, and I thought it was stunning. Loved that game. The fact that it came out so many other titles that year is just insane to me. And again, it's on the PlayStation Plus collection now, people. Go play it, or it's on PC as well. Go play God of War from 2018. It is scheduled for this year, and also supposedly this will depict the end of days and the Norse gods, and supposedly this might be the last one, like in this series. Like they might not do a sequel. Like so confirmed during a PlayStation Showcase 2021, Ragnarok is going to be the finale of the Norse era of this series. This is going by Wikipedia and news articles. That's interesting to me. The fact that it's only two games in this entire sequel. Now I'm wondering if maybe the one after this will be like the sun taking over. Like, now I'm not going to spoil it for you because I do recommend playing it, but there's a reason why I think this and how it ties into the Norse mythology. I'm hoping that might be the case, but God of War Ragnarok, watch us now. We finished recording this episode, and in 2 hours' time, they'll have like a Twitter post saying, "Watch this state of play in a couple of days for God of War Ragnarok announcement," which I will most likely include a news segment in this, and I'll probably mention it if we do it. Yeah, I'll probably do a pre-recorded segment at the beginning. Again, top game I want to play this year. Cannot wait for this to come out. Absolutely stunning. Go play the first one, people. It's just insane how the anticipation for this game for people as well is just so good. Also, the original creative director, I believe the creative director, is not coming back for this game, or the game designer for this game. It's someone else who took over this one. Eric Williams is actually now the director. For Cory Barlog, he's actually gone into a new IP that hasn't been announced that he's working on. So I'm also interested to see how the game plays out with a new director. Now, I've heard this director is very good with this game series. Like, I've heard some good things, like on, Cory Barlog promoting him, and also on the internet as well. I've heard good things from posts and everything. Obviously, don't know the guy personally, but, I'm hopeful to see what he does, and really looking forward to seeing how this game series played out, and really looking forward to the surprises which may play out. And also, again, Dave Bautista is for my live action God of War people for the Amazon TV series. So we'll tie that into this week as well. But that's my number one, people. That's my number one. Fergus, do you want to regale us with your number one gaming choice?
Yes. At number one is kind of an interesting one. I've been tracking this game for a while, probably every year now. Serial Cleaners.
What the fuck?
Serial Cleaners is a single-player stealth action crime game where you alternate between 4 eccentric mob cleaners taking on the bloodiest jobs of the carefree 90s. So you work as a mob hitman crime scene cleaner. So you turn up to these crime scenes with a hoover and have to hoover up all of the blood while sneaking around the cops that are descending on the crime scene.
This is weird, man. I'm actually just like checking out as we talk about this now. Like
it struck me as pretty unique as a concept.
I mean, that's to say the least. Like
it is scheduled for 22nd of September 2022. Has been delayed somewhat because of COVID. Again, it's just a single player game.
And it's a remake or a sequel, sort of sequel, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah, so I'm actually going off on here now. So there is a game developed by the same studio, Draw Distance, 505 Games. A different publisher back then called Serial Cleaner. So Serial Cleaner is a sequel. Is the original. So Serial Cleaner is a sequel. This is set in the 70s. You play as a professional cleaner. Your job is to clean up murders. It's the original. And I'll tell you this, Fergus, it is currently £2.39 on Steam.
Oh, okay. I might get that.
Yeah, Fergus is like, I know what I'm playing later on. After some Forza. But yeah, no, this is a very unique art style. This is actually like, it's more top-down based, this one. It's also 2D top-down based. So this is called Serial Cleaner. But yeah, Serial Cleaners.
Yeah. Again, quite an indie title. Looks great. It's again fairly unique concept, new to me anyway.
So this is developed by Draw Distance, published by 505 Games. And yeah, it's going to be a single player game coming out. And yeah, this is very interesting to be honest. I would have never that's the great thing about hosting podcasts with your friends, people. You never know what people are going to say. Because like at the end of the day, and also this doesn't seem like a heavy intensive visual game as well. And I'm wondering if this game will come out not just on that answers my question. It's coming out for Switch, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One as well.
I imagine.
Wondering if it'll be on Game Pass.
I mean, maybe. I think any publisher worth their salt is trying to get everything on Game Pass right now, aren't they?
Pretty much indeed. But no, I'm actually gonna have to add this to my list, to be honest. Did you see this from the Future Games show last year by any chance? Because I just saw a trailer for that, so I'm presuming.
Probably yes.
Because that's one of the shows you enjoy watching, isn't it?
Yeah, it is one of the ones I follow. I said there's a huge amount of interesting stuff.
Definitely think Chaz might be interested in this as well, possibly. He does love his indie games, so it's definitely something. Now, yeah, because this will be classed as indie.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I'm loving the fact that I've gone for like the AAA route and you've gone for more the indie route, which is really nice. Parallel, to be honest. I'm really looking forward to this game. To be honest, now I'm actually I'm actually adding it to my Steam library now on my Steam wish list. So and it's another single player game, so be interested to do. I still need to play Disco Elysium.
Yes, it does look good. I haven't got right.
The reason I say that is because the art style for this looks like Disco Elysium.
It is pretty similar, yeah.
Hopefully the audio didn't come through. Every time I click the video, the bloody Steam audio starts playing. So yeah, no, that's just really cool. Like, how these video games are popping up now. And also September, we're getting a good, from July onwards, it seems to be going to be getting a good slew of games and maybe some good, really good indie titles to tie us over to the big AAA titles, which are coming out later in the year, which is really good, to be honest, because, we had games earlier in the year like Vampire Survivors, which I'm still, I'm going to go back to soon because I believe they're doing updates for that. £2 game, brilliant game. The fact that the original version of this game is £2 on Steam right now, I think I might actually go buy this myself and give it a go and see how it goes later. And the fact this is a sequel is really interesting, to be honest. Oh my God, I'm just looking at one of the GIFs now. He's cleaning up blood with a Hoover.
Yeah.
That is stupid, but that is hilarious. Oh yeah, because it's homage to Tarantino classics and B-movie. I'm just reading the Steam now, people, just trying to figure out But no, I'm really looking forward to this, man. I'm really looking forward to this. But no, thank you for that, Fergus. There was a really interesting top 3 list, to be honest. And hopefully, in the future, we'll maybe be able to find the other Informers top 3 list for the rest of the year. Maybe if they don't listen to this episode, we maybe have to have a nice little comparison to see what they're actually looking forward to. Maybe if we have some crossover, it'd be really interesting to see. But Fergus, I want to thank you for joining me again today, man. It was really good to have you here.
No problem at all. It's been fun as always.
Honestly, it's so good to have you here, man. And it's so good to have all the rest of the crew. As you said, we usually have a rotation of people coming in and out of NMI. It's because we don't like to, constrain people to be here every week. We like to make it a really good free-form conversation for people to just come on and have a good conversation, have a good chat.
I think it works.
Yeah, so yeah, right, people. I want to thank you all for joining us today. Myself and Fergus want to thank you all for coming as well. If you'd like to get in contact with us, please email us at nmipodcast@outlook.com. That's nmipodcast@outlook.com. Go to our Linktree, search Linktree. Just go on Google, search Linktree NMI Cast. You'll be able to find all of our social sites on there, Twitter, Instagram. You'll also be able to find our Spotify and iTunes audio for this podcast. You may be whichever platform you're listening on. Just search for NMI When You Need More Info. That's NMI When You Need More Info. Again, if you just want to search via Twitter and Instagram, it's just at NMI Cast. We're also in the process of possibly looking at doing some live recordings together, not live shows, in a bar. We're not that big yet. Not that big yet, people. But no, yeah, just getting us together, have a good group conversation, which we've not done yet for 24 episodes. We've had to do because of COVID. We've had to do recording sessions via Discord and the other technological means. But yes, again, people, if you want to get in contact with us, any questions, queries, or compliments, maybe topic suggestions, which we will be doing later on, we'd love to hear from you. Maybe some questions, send us your favorite games, maybe games that you want to hear for the rest of this year, or, at us on our Twitter and Instagram at NMIcast to find out what you want to hear. Again, I've been your host, Nate. Thank you for joining me today. Again, thank you to Fergus for joining as well.
Thank you for having me.
And I'm going to let Fergus do the usual sign off now. Stay safe, everyone. I'll speak to you later. Bye-bye.
Bye.